Right, so this is the first video that we're having, and then I'm going to go over some few points. The first point I want us to look at will be the spelling bee. Of course, this is made for kids, so I'll just briefly go through the steps. They should know the vowels, and of course, we add Y to the vowels when we're doing the spelling bee. They should also add the consonants. Okay, so we have the vowels, and then how the vowels are also pronounced using the schwa, and then we also have uh, the consonants. The consonants, they should look at when we double the consonants. So these are simple rules. If you want to have the comprehensive guidelines, you can, reach us for the original video and then the complete video, right? So this is just the first lesson, and so we'll just be brief. The other thing that they should know is when it comes to spelling bee, or when it comes to the spelling, this is my own fashioned out rule or guide. So what I do is for words that are so close to English, okay, or countries that share, that are close to the English people. For instance, if you take, we have Britain itself, we have other countries like USA, we have Canada, we have Australia, New Zealand, okay, and then of course even within the United Kingdom, okay, the countries that we have, so the Wales, the Ireland, the Scotland, their language, the Gaelic language, okay. So all these people, we put them under group one, together with Greek, Latin, okay. So put them under group one. Under group one, that means they do their things. They have a similar way of, spelling, okay. But there are a little concerns when we have some concerns when it comes to the spelling for certain words. Okay. All right. The other point is when you talk about the spelling for where for languages like Italian, German, Dutch, Africans. Okay, they tend to have more doubling. Okay, when I say double, they double their when you doubling consonant is very frequent in Italian language. Okay, so we put Italian, Germans, Dutch, Africans. Okay, these group, we put them in group two, and then we also say they are part of the intermediate group. Okay, intermediate because they are close to English but not very close. But the other point, the difference between the Italian and then the German, Dutch, Greek, and German, Dutch, Africans is that the Italians double or have the frequent doubling for the consonants rather, and then the Germans rather have doubling for the vowels, doubling for the vowels, especially letter A, and then letter occasionally a few other vowels, but more of letter A. So for them, whenever you stretch the vowel, especially vowel A, you may have to double it. Okay. So I'm just giving you some few tips that these are my own observations, and then they work in about 70 to 80%. That is in about 70 to 80% when you apply this rule, you may get it correct. The other thing is so that is group two as part of the intermediate group. Okay, say they like doubling consonant and doubling vowels. Doubling consonant, as I said, Italians, they have high frequency of doubling the consonant. Uh, the Dutch, the Germans, the Africans in South Africa, okay, they like doubling the vowel letter, especially A, and some few occasions E may also. Right. So I'm just giving you. So that's the second group. Now the third group, which is also part of the intermediate. The intermediate is made up of two groups. That is the first group I just mentioned, Italy and the Germans, and then the second group. The second group. I mean the third group, which is also part of the intermediate. Those that do not use a lot of doubling. Okay, they do, but they don't frequently uh, use a lot of doubling, and that is the Spanish language. Okay, the Spanish language, the Portuguese, right? But for Portuguese and French, what I do is Portuguese is put between group 2 and group 3. That means they can do more, they can do some doubling, or they may also have a few doubling. Okay, so they are kind of in between group 2 and 3. And then between group 1 and 2, I put the French language there, because they may in some cases come close to English. That's the French language. And then some cases too, they may come close to the group 2. That's the German, Dutch, Africans, and then the Italians. Okay, right. So that is it. But there's also some kind of connection between the Portuguese and then French and Spanish. So let's note there's some connection there. Now we have the fourth group, which we are usually refer to as the far off, the far off group. Okay, far off in the sense that they are more or less not close to English at all. Okay, that means their languages which are not, they do not share the traditional root, the traditional link with the English people. So far off countries can be the Asian countries, the African countries. Okay, so that means their language, they are not connected to the English people. Okay, so now the far off, we also have subdivisions, but the main far off, they don't do doubling at all. Okay, so they hardly double consonants and then hardly double vowels. Okay, typical example is the Sanskrit, the Sanskrit language. Okay, which is an ancient language, Indian language. Okay, so Sanskrit, and then that is, so we are talking about Asian countries. So Sanskrit, India, that is part. Japanese is also part. Chinese is also part. Okay, African, African languages, most of them are also part. And then we have the 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 Russian language is also part. Right. So these ones, they don't do doubling. Uh, I mean, in few occasions, or sorry, in some few instances, you may see some doubling. Okay, but not in many instances. Okay, right. Uh, I mean, the other thing we also have to note is the uh, the the Hindi, uh, Arab, Hebrew, okay, which I've not mentioned, but they are between the third group and then the fourth group that I just mentioned. So for them, they also do some doubling, uh, but not as much as the main intermediate, that's group 2 and 3. So you see that, for instance, the Hindi may double some vowels, okay, and occasionally will also double consonants, but they do, if they do it just once. And then remember the Hindi language, of course, the Indians also live close with the British people, as I mean during their colonial rule time. Okay, so I presume probably this may have influenced their language, or the spelling pattern. Okay, so Hindi, Arab, Hebrew, they are between group group 3 and then group 4. So for them, what they may have doubling for vowels. If they are going to do that, they just do it once. They may also have doubling for consonant, and they may do that once. Okay, so that is the intermediate group between, I mean, not the intermediate group, I mean the group between 3 and 4, right? So when you have this picture, all these that I'm saying, we have them in written notes, okay? So if you want to, you can access the spelling bee dictionary that we have. We have other books, the full text and everything. So you have the hard copy, the book itself. If you want to have the hard copy, the book itself, and then it's electronic book. So you place request, but now we are dealing with the electronic books. You can get them, so you can get everything. I mean, everything can be at your own, within your own reach. Okay, you have everything. If you want the hard copy to, you place order. We have the customized one. So the child's name, we take into consideration the child's family. So we have a story that we also tell with the child's family using the alphabets. Okay, so let's say for Arjun's family, okay, we have maybe all the words that begin with letter A. We use them to write a letter and then customize it uh, to Arjun's family. So how the story will be about Arjun's family. I mean, their day-to-day activities and all that. Okay, but we use the words beginning with letter A to do that, and then we go on to the other letters. So it's quite, I mean, a very interesting story book. But that one, you place order, and then we take history from you. So you tell us your, I mean, the family, what you usually do, and then we will put them into story using the spelling bee words for a particular letter that you choose. If you want to have all the letters, that's also good. We'll do it, but just that to take time. Okay, so we release them as and when we finish it, and that is highly customized. We do that so that that will, I mean, make the kids develop so much interest, because once they see their picture, they see their family names, they see what they do, they want to keep these books, and then be reading them. So it's an interesting discovery. Customized electronic books and then hard copy books. Okay, so you can place your order. So let's get back to the rules. So basically, what I've said is we have 4 groups. So, and I've gone through the spelling rules. Okay, for the sake of time, I'll leave it at this point. Those who will be joining us for the first section, which is going to be I mean, the first section, which is English. Today is Monday. Because it's Monday, we have English, we have the spelling bee, we have law. So we also put some materials at the law. And today I think we'll talk about immovable properties, law of immovable properties. Okay, and then so we have other core subjects, religion, history. We talk about also history. So brief uh, introduction to all these topics that I'm mentioning. Okay, so basically it's English, law, languages, history, things connected to political science and all that. So that is for Mondays. Okay. For the other days, every morning spelling bee will feature, and then we'll have the other courses. So for instance, tomorrow we're going to have mathematics. So it will be mathematics, statistics, research, and then we have the main part of mathematics where we call the deriving formulas. So that one is, I mean, we've devoted that one for deriving formulas in various subjects. So how we derive all the formulas in physics. So we go through that. So we go through some of the formulas and then how they are derived. This is very important and this is crucial. Of course, it makes the kids, of course, be comfortable with, I mean, getting or writing out the equations for the various concepts rather than just memorizing them. So if they can derive these formulas, okay, they don't need to memorize them at every point in time. When they are having challenges, they can just go through 1, 2, 3 steps and then they will get the formula. And that is the best way to learn rather than to memorize. So that is what we are doing. And it's so interesting. We bring it down to earth, we make it so easy. And that is done from the what we call the first principles. Okay. right? So that is for tomorrow. We have other, so the timetable is out, you can check it. The other thing that you can also look at is we also would be discussing what we call the mass quiz. The mass quiz, especially for the spelling bee, means for everyone who is interested. So we come online like this, and then the questions will be flowing. So if you answer, depending on the points that you get at the end of the day or end of the week or end of the month, you are declared winner, and then we have some cash awards, either cash awards or we have some books and other things. Very nice packages for kids. This is to motivate kids into joining the program. Remember, our main target for this program is to ensure or to make sure that we get most of our kids, especially Ghanaian kids in Ghana and abroad, to feature in the International Spelling Bee, the Scripps National Spelling Bee specifically. We know I've always said that the South Asian countries have dominated for a while. Fortunately, I've been working and doing a lot of research, and then I've also studied how the Indians also go about their home tuition. Okay, so being a doctor, knowing the background of these kids, and then also bringing on board the science of intelligence, the science of memory, and all that. Over 7 years, I think it's enough research book. Outcome that will help our kids, and you'll be fascinated. Our kids will be able to learn at least 3,000 words in a day. Now, the extreme, which is, I'm sure we'll get there, we already have the material, but we know we have to go in steps. We have developed a material that can make them in two halves complete the whole words in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Okay, so we have the video. Then we take them through the steps. Okay, we call that exposure. Okay, so what you see, what you hear, and then the other senses. Okay, when you use 2 3 senses for learning, you are able to recall with ease. So we give them what we call the exposure using at least 2 of the senses, audio visual. And this is a good package for our our own children. I mean, the Ghanaian children, of course, African children also most, because this one was designed based on our culture. Okay, and that is what I'm saying. Our brothers and sisters out there in those in abroad can also access these materials. I mean, the other point is we are not only learning, we are learning so that we be able to develop our country. So though we doing the spelling bee, we are also targeting the sciences, mathematics. So science, mathematics especially, and then of course we also add economics and then financial accounting, depending on the level of the kid. Okay, but for all the courses that we are doing for the kids, we also have what we call the adult play game for kids. So this one, for instance, if we have biology today, to the extreme point, we've included medicine, okay, and then pharmacy, right? So what we do uh, for the kids, when it gets to that level, I mean, we have the play too. So, for instance, we give them a case scenario. So we test how they are able to reason. There's a preamble, and let's say the heart pumps. I'm giving an example. For instance, we say the heart pumps this number of times in a second, okay, and then we also give another caveat that the brain uses this amount of energy in this second. So for how long should they have see those kind of, so bringing in maths and then biology and all that. So it's quite interesting, and it's a game. So we put it there, then we see the child will be able to come out. So for those courses, the professional courses, the play too is very important. It motivates the kids. They develop interest in various fields, and then they start building themselves up for that particular field. Um, so I would also mention, for instance, law. The same pattern is used. So we give, let's say, we talk about, if you are talking about uh, tort. So we are looking at um civil law. Okay. So we have the preamble. Let's say in torts we are talking about let's say defamation, or we are talking about negligence in some kind of way. So we give them the terms. Let's say negligence is this, uh, defamation component elements are these. Okay. Then we give them a case scenario. This is what happened. Okay. Now, if you are to defend this child, or if you are to defend this person, or let's say you are home, so we bring it to the, I mean, the level that they can understand. So if you are home and mommy says, okay, nobody, I mean, puts this thing here, okay, somebody goes contrary to it or does the opposite. Okay, would you say the person is guilty? The person, so that kind of thing is there, and that is what we are going to use. We've done some piloting, and I think it's helping. It's I mean, putting a lot of kids into some kind of how should I put it? That it makes them enjoy the lesson. Because there was one, I mean, I tried this with my kids, gave them a case scenario, and I was surprised they were arguing. uh, One was saying no, he was right. No, the other was saying no, he wasn't right. Why should he? And that is a good way. We are not making them memorize. We are making them apply logic, reasoning. Okay, and we have to start early. We are far behind. We are far behind. Sometimes I sit down and say, no, if I had made this material long time ago, I'm sure would have made a very great impact by now. But it's not too late. We can still do it. So if you have suggestions, you have anything you want to add, you are welcome. This is a program that we are doing, especially for our motherland. So we want to make sure the Ghanaian child can also compete with his, I mean his counterparts from other countries, especially in the spelling bee. Remember, we are also targeting the spelling bee for reasons I'm sure I will disclose later. There's a bit of it that we want to use to solve our our district level problems. When I say district level problems, I'm talking about where we have poverty in most of our districts, or virtually all the districts. Okay, so what I would do is I want to prove something. I want to tell you we have a lot of materials. We have a lot of things that we can do to make our children become successful in the future. So I would prove to you that we will just go to a district, pick at random any child, and then we will set up the program, okay, with spelling. You give us 1 month to 3 months, and you see what these skills and these kids will do. So just follow us, okay. If you have any child you want us to prove, you want us to prove to you that truly our material works, okay, we can do that. You can give us that challenge. Give us 1 month to 3 months, okay. We usually would want to make people see for themselves what the material can do for them. That is just by the way. The focus is to ensure that we are able to reach every Ghanaian, no matter where you are, okay, and then those also outside abroad, because what we want to do is, if we are able to help our people out there, and then they get into the NASA, the higher this in the professional, I mean, what do you call it, works, okay. For instance, if we are getting our people into medicine, people into engineering, okay, we would be putting our names, various communities, we would also be making a big decision for ourselves, because these people will send money back home, send money back home for us to also enjoy. All right, so it's just not learning spelling bee, okay, but it's also a way to solve our issues, be able to deal with our economic issues, okay, right. So thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure this is not going to be just the end. I mean, it's not going to be one of those shows that we start and then quit. We will need your encouragement to be able to sustain the program. Already, we are determined to do it. So just join us anytime we come online. Thank you very much. So let me just go over briefly what I said. So I said we have the pattern for spelling bee. Usually we would prefer you take them through these steps, okay, or they watch the video. The videos have been designed such that the child, probably from primary 2, 3 onwards, can just watch the video. I mean, with little assistance from an adult, to be able, I mean, to grasp what the content of the video. So the summary is they should know the syllables. Words are made up of syllables. These syllables are broken down into the phonemes or graphemes, okay, right, and then down to alphabets. Okay, these alphabets are also made up of vowels and then consonants. Then we also would have to break the word into, so when they break the word into syllables, they also break the word into prefixes, suffixes, infix, and then root word. Okay, so these are all captured in the audio. I mean in the video. So I'm just going over so that you know what the content is. Okay, then they come to the 4 divisions. Very crucial. We have group 1, and then group 2 and 3 as intermediate, and then we have the far of group 4. Okay, so anytime a word is mentioned, they put, depending on the origin of the word, they put the word under one of these groups, okay, and that will let them limit themselves, I mean themselves to the rules that govern that spelling in that particular group, right? So that is how it is. The first group, English, and then those close to English. The second group, which is part of the intermediate group, those that like doubling, doubling consonant, that is Italian, doubling vowels, that is the Germans, Dutch, Africans. Then the third group is those that do not do a lot of doubling, that is Spanish. And in between, in the intermediate, or those between group 1 and 2 is French. Okay, they are like English. They are also for the Italian and Spanish. And then between the third and second is the Portuguese. Okay, but the Portuguese and French also share common roots. Okay, right. So that's that. Then we have the far off, very far off, who do not double or double consonant or double vowels. They are the Sanskrit, Japanese, Chinese, Russian, etc. Now we have those between group 3 and 4 who may do doubling, but they may just do it once for vowels and then consonants. And these are 3. We have the Arabs, we have the Hebrew, we have the Hindi. Okay, right. So that is how it is. As we go on, I'm sure you become conversant with the rules and then you apply them. So these were just discovered by myself as I went through the words on the standard, the standard dictionary that we are using. That is Merriam-Webster dictionary, Oxford dictionary. Okay, so I've come up with my own collection of words, okay, and then there's a video. So for the words that you have to take notice of, we make comments on and tell you how the spelling was arrived at using the rules I've mentioned. So these are rules, my own rules, but they work in about 70 to 80, and in some instances even 90, in the 90s in terms of percentage. Thank you very much.